హలో 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 నరేష్ హలో హలో నరేష్ సార్ యూట్యూబ్ లైవ్ చూడండి ఎవరన్నా ఎన్జిఆర్ లైవ్. హలో నరేష్ ఏమొస్తుంది నరేష్ చూపించండి నరేష్ అదే హలో హలో हेलो हाँ आ रहा मैं आ रहा हूँ 2 मिनट मैं भी लंच कर रहा हूँ लेट हो गया मेरे चक्कर में. हेलो हेलो हेलो
హలో
హలో ఇప్పుడు వస్తుందా చూడండి లైవ్. హలో హలో వస్తుంది డిలే ఉంటుంది. హలో వస్తుందా? హలో 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 గజల్ వాయిస్ వస్తుందా? హలో హలో ఏం మాట్లాడితేనే వస్తుంది.
చాలా ఎక్కువ వస్తుంది.
హలో
సిస్టమ్
ఒక 2 minutes ఆగండి, నేను ఇప్పుడు చెప్తాను. నేను పక్కనే వచ్చాను, నేను చెప్తాను ఇప్పుడు పర్లేదు ఓకే 10 కాల్స్ అంతే. ఓకే నిమిషం వెయిట్ చేయండి, నేను చెప్తాను. ఎందుకు ఇప్పుడు ఏమవుతుంది? ఎక్కడ వస్తుంది? ఇది సౌండ్
పేపర్కి చాలా పేపర్
extra है वो।
అది వైర్లెస్
మనం మైకి తీసుకున్నాము, మైకి తీసుకున్నాము, మన మైకి తీసుకున్నాము. అదంటే దీన్ని ఉండడం వల్ల హలో మైక్ టెస్టింగ్ చెక్ 1 2 3. హలో చెక్ 1 2 3. హలో
హలో హలో నరేష్ వస్తుందా? వాయిస్ వస్తుందా? అది కాదు పీజీసీ అండి. షాప్లో హలో హలో వస్తుందా వాయిస్ మీకు యూట్యూబ్లో వస్తుంది చూడండి.
హలో
అది వేరే ఇంకా ఎక్కడ ఉన్నాయి?
క్వాంటిటీ సార్. హలో 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 సార్. హలో 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 సార్. హలో సార్. హలో సార్. 1 2 3 హలో. హలో 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 చెక్. హలో చెక్ 1 2 3 హలో హలో
హలో
హలో హలో
హలో చెక్ 1
హలో
2 3
చెక్. హలో
హలో హలో హలో
హలో హలో చెక్ 1 2 హలో నరేష్. హలో 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 చెక్ 1 2 3 హలో 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 నరేష్. హలో 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 చెక్ 1 2 3 హలో 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 చెక్. హలో చెక్. హలో 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 చెక్ 1 2 3 హలో 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 చెక్ 1 2 3 హలో 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 చెక్ 1 2 3 హలో 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 చెక్ 1 2 3 హలో 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 నరేష్.
Hello, did you see? Did you see?
హలో
Hello, 1, 2, 3.
హలో
Hello, check.
సార్ ఇక్కడ రావట్లేదు
Hello,
సార్
check 1, 2, 3. Hello, 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 checking 1, 2, 3.
సార్
3, 4, 5. Hello, hello, check. Hello,
3 o'clock.
hello. Hello. Hello, 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 check. Hello, check. Hello, check 1, 2, 3. Hello. क्या टाइम बोलना है सर आपने? 14:50 बोल रहे हैं, मुझे कुछ बोल रहे हैं. Hello. 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 Check 1 2 3. Hello. Check 1 2 3. Hello. Check 1 2 3. Hello. 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 Check 1 2. Perfect.
Hello, hello, mic test 1 2 3. Hello, 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 mic test 1 2 3. Hello,
Hello. Check. Hello. Check 1 2 3. Hello. Mic. Hello. Check 1, 2, 3.
ऑप्शन राष्ट्रीय भूभौतिकीय अनुसंधान संस्थान एनजीआरआई द्वारा आयोजित विश्व पर्यावरण दिवस के अवसर पर इस कार्यक्रम में आप सभी का हार्दिक अभिनंदन करता हूं। अपने बीच में श्री श्रीराम विदुरे जी, सलाहकार जल शक्ति मंत्रालय भारत सरकार, व श्री सुनील कुमार, अध्यक्ष केंद्रीय भूमिगत जल संकाय की गरिमामयी उपस्थिति से हम सभी अनुग्रहित महसूस करते हैं। मैं संस्थान के निदेशक डॉक्टर वीएम तिवारी जी से अनुरोध करता हूं कि वो विशिष्ट अतिथियों के साथ मंच पर आसन ग्रहण करें। ये हमारा कार्यक्रम ऑफलाइन के साथ साथ ऑनलाइन मोड में भी चल रहा है, तो इसलिए काफ़ी लोग हमारे साथ ऑनलाइन जुड़े हुए हैं, तो इसलिए शायद आपको उपस्थिति यहाँ पर कुछ कम प्रतीत होती है। मैं मिस समीना से अनुरोध करता हूँ कि वो पुष्पगुच्छ से हमारे मुख्य अतिथि श्री श्रीराम विदुरे जी का स्वागत करें। और अब मैं मिस जी श्रव्या जी से अनुरोध करता हूं कि वो हमारे आज के सम्मानित अतिथि कुमार जी का पुष्पगुच्छ से स्वागत करें। और अब आगे के कार्रवाई को चालित करने के लिए मैं अपने निदेशक महोदय जी से अनुरोध करता हूं कि वो कार्यक्रम का संचालन करें एवं मुख्य अतिथियों का परिचय दें।
Respected Sri Ram Vidure Garu, Sri Sunil Kumar ji, my dear colleagues from CSIR-NGRI, members of our research council, honorable guests linked through online, students and friends. Namaskar and very good afternoon to everyone. It's really a matter of great pride for all of us when we have two of Ministry of Jal Shakti as very important day which is being celebrated globally. Unfortunately, because of the holiday today, we are celebrating in this institute today. The World Environment Day, we all very much aware, is celebrated on 5th of June to mark and appeal people to see that how environment is protected, and this year we call it the only one earth, and that makes very important thing to remember, that why should we be conscious enough about our environment. From evolution of life and the environment around the Mother Earth, one thing which played very important role is water. Without water, neither we would have the life on this planet Earth, nor
we would have had the continued and sustained environment around us to protect lot many things which we require day to day in our lives. Today, I feel really privileged and honored to present before you the chief guest of the day, Ram Bidri, the advisor of Ministry of Jal Shakti, and Shri Sunil Kumarji, Chairman, Central Groundwater Board, Government of India. Shri Ram Bidri is a very, very different kind of a person which I happened to meet few years back, and I really feel honored that I could get that opportunity to know a person who is dedicated to for the benefit of the common man and for the country. Having his education in Telangana in engineering, as usual, he moved to the best places in the world and settled in United States of America with all family and fully settled. He realized that he can contribute to the country with his knowledge in much better way than what he is doing in the United States of America. He came back. He also been social ministry, social work in the Telangana, particularly the places from where he comes from, Nalgonda district, and particularly for us, Nalgonda district is known for the fluoride contamination, sir. So knowing the fact that being in a water resource ministry or Jal Shakti, it's our primary job to see and get your advices to eradicate. He has served in a different capacities after returning back to the country. He, before becoming the advisor to the Ministry of Jal Shakti, he worked 5 years in Rajasthan and with the rank of minister, cabinet minister, and managing water resources of the state. That has really brought several new things on which, in fact, a very good book has been brought by him. He worked for various MNCs in United States for 15 years and engineered and authored books on the various aspects of water management in India. His books include Gujarat Success Story and also a book which had been published particularly on the Godavari River. To the few of the information which we do not have much, Bidreji had been very well of planning for the management of the water resources in the country and is currently member of the task force set up by government of Rajasthan on integrated water management catchment area development in the state of the Rajasthan. He has also submitted a report recently on the revival of the river Saraswati, an ambitious project of the government. If we keep talking about his societal contribution, they are endless after he came back. And all the time, from morning to evening, he is ready to talk on the issues related with water, irrespective of uh, individuals coming from different strata, different scientific backgrounds, and different departments and ministries. Thank you very much for agreeing to be here with us today when we celebrate World Environment Day. Sri Sunil Kumar ji is alumni of University of Roorkee, now IIT Roorkee. He did masters in applied biology in 1995. He started his career in Central Groundwater Board in 1987 and rose to the different level and served in a different positions as regional director, Rajiv Gandhi National Water Training and Research Institute, Raipur, Chhattisgarh, director administration at headquarters, and many other responsibilities like member uh, administrations as human resource, headquarter member CGWA, the important thing CGW, Ministry of Jal Shakti provides the Central Groundwater Authority. February 1922 has taken over as chairman the apex position of Central Groundwater Board, the largest groundwater community in the world. And having very versatile experience of working in the various facets of the groundwater management, which includes groundwater surveys, exploration, estimation of the groundwater resources, sustainable development, and management of the groundwater artificial recharge, which is the need of the hour today, and many more expertises he had gained while serving the Central Groundwater Board. Most important thing about Sunilji, which I personally feel that even holding a very high position, he cares each and everyone and also to our environment. And that's the reason we thought that if he joins us on the Environment Day, we will really cherish the moment of having his presence on this important day, which is internationally being celebrated. In summary, both the distinguished invitees today have very distinct character which we hardly find in our society. They always ready to serve the society through their knowledge, which is the present day requirement for bringing new India at 75. With these few remarks, I would also like to quote the uh, recently, in fact, yesterday, what Honorable Prime Minister and the President of CSIR Society had mentioned that why celebration of the Environment Day is important and how Government of India, through the different initiatives, whether Swachh Bharat, Swasth Bharat, or the Ganga reservations, or water. So if you see his statements, his appeal, you will find that half of the schemes which he had mentioned yesterday, they deal with the water. And that's how being with us, two eminent personalities working on the water sectors on Environment Day is a pleasure and honor. With this, I once again both thank both of them and also appeal all of you that see that how best we can take care of the environment around us so that we live happily and also allow our future generation to flourish happily. Thank you very much. Jai Hind. Unfortunately, Shri Sunil Kumar ji has issue of the throat, so we will request a few remarks from him, and then we will listen the presentation of Shri Sridham Viduraji. May I do wish you can speak from there.
Respected Sri Sriram Vidare ji, Sri PM Tiwari ji, Shakil Ahmed Saab, mere colleagues, NGRI scientists, and those who have joined the workshop online. I congratulate you on the day of World Environment Day, which was actually yesterday, but because of the holiday we are celebrating today. The first questions come again, like Hindi also. Why do we celebrate Hindi Day, Pakhwadas, and then Environment Day? Because we have played havoc with our environment. A few days back, I was going through a documentary on the discovery, and I have seen that in the last 70 days, how the glaciers has melted, how the number of species has gone down, they have extincted. Similarly, in the last 70 years, what we have done to the groundwater. Now we are basically focusing on sustainable groundwater management. Everybody knows that sustainability is not possible without affecting the environment. Environment, what we can do, we can make minimum damage to the environment, but damage will be there. So the whole community need to think on these lines, that how we can minimize the damage to the environment. In India, basically, if you see from perspective of groundwater, basically three problems we envisage or we identified. First is the either water is not available, or availability, that continuity of the availability throughout the year is not there, or quality issues are there. Earlier we used to drink water from a tap. Now nobody dare to take the tap water. We always go for a bottled water. And this has changed in the last 30 years itself. When we were young, we were using the nalka and the tap water directly we are using. Now things are different. What we can do actually, because we already know that the northwestern part of the country, Rajasthan, Telangana, Tamil Nadu, Haryana, Rajasthan, Gujarat, UP, in western part of UP, they are having the problem of the availability of water. Various research has gone, even Grace has proved that, but our data itself is proving that due to over extraction, subsidence is also taking place, and we have to go down to take out the water. In the western part of the UP, the farmers have to drill deep and to invest more to draw water for their crops, because the water levels has gone down beyond the limits of the pumping of the centrifugal pumps. And now later, when that possibility has also gone, they have now developed a pump of small diameter, it is submersible pump, that can go within 3 inches, 4 inches of diameter. So technology is changing for extracting the resource. Similarly, there are issues in India which are very well known to you. I will just go through, like arsenic in West Bengal, part of UP, part of Bihar, in Raipur, in Chhattisgarh. Then the problem of uranium, which has last year we have done sampling, and there are 483 hotspots we found in the India. Similarly, the fluoride problem is there, arsenic problem is there, iron problem is there, nitrate problem is there. In the central part of India, like Deccan, we are having problem of sustainability. We do not get the water throughout the year. So what is the actually what we can do for that? The only option is automation, making the data available to all the researchers, to the policymakers, using those technology in the industry as well as in infrastructure which are water efficient. Green building norm we need to bring into in the urban setting. Then those water which is being lost through the conveyance, we need to take up the effort so that that can be minimized. And as Tiwari Sahib has told, there is only one earth. The agenda of this Environment Day, they say there is only one earth. There has been many research and many people are searching other planets, subplanets or stars where there can be life, and in case we damage our whole environment, we will shift there. But see, whatever is with us, we need to protect that, we need to regulate that, and we need to use it in such a way that the optimal use of the resource is there and minimum damage to the environment is there. That's why what I wanted to say. Thank you very much.
Of discussing the problems, I'd like to focus upon discussing this because all experts practicing life. So the brains behind all our academic and plan should always focus on solutions rather than problems are there, we all know. So I would like to present the solutions, especially in the area of water, because water is one of the main components of the environment. So if you look at, as environment, it is, physical, chemical, biological, economical, political, social, whatnot. So each of the topics, if we go vertical into it, some of us are interested in political, some of us are in social, everything is environment. So I believe most of these components of the environment have been compromised. Whether it is social, whether it is political, whether, whatever, we have compromised on most of these things.
And if you look at the individual, we are lying at the, at our own individual capacity. For us, there are various levels. Finally, we go to the earth and universe level. So when we look at the today's perspective, where we stand on the environment perspective, we have gone to the extent of the earth level. So that, so many planets, what is happening in the other planets, on other planets, we don't know. But eventually it could hit the universe. So we have gone that far. So all the things that are laid out there, I don't want to read, you can just look at the slide. So everything has been compromised, right? And what are the current issues? The current issues is, overpopulation, deforestation, biodiversity loss, fuel crisis, energy crisis, desertification, urbanization, disparity, food crisis, water pollution, ozone, climate change, greenhouse effect, accidents, etc., etc. If we look at each of these topics, sometimes it looks very scary because look at each of the components that we have the issue that we face today. Can we imagine how far we have gone where it is no point of return for some of these components? So the situation is very scary, right? And well, as Mahatma Gandhi mentioned, nature provides enough to satisfy every man's needs, but not every man's greed. So we should be gender neutral. It is humans instead of not man's. It is women's. It is gender. You know, a human's greed is, it cannot be satisfied. So basically, we have to protect it. There is no other way. And as I said, I would focus more upon water today. Water is the elixir of life, as Sir C.V. Raman said. But the most exploited, more easily vulnerable to, I mean, people say air is also vulnerable, people say society is vulnerable, everyone has their own viewpoint. But water is more vulnerable because I would think, in my personal capacity, not as advisor to the Ministry of Government of India, because if I say something, it should not be taken from the government perspective. In my individual capacity, I would think that the way that we treat water, which is a free commodity, that is why we abuse it. If it is something we pay for it, then definitely we will not abuse it. So that's in my personal capacity, I would say water should be priced, but that is something which is my individual opinion. So let's come directly to where we stand on water resources in the country. If you look at it, the gap of 439 BCM is, which we can utilize, but we are not able to utilize. And a gap of 60 million hectares of irrigation potential we have created, but we have to do it. And groundwater, the chairman himself is sitting here. Basically, see the overexploited zones that are going up and up. And the kind of alarming situation that we are in, where we go deeper into, we talk about, days are gone about, feet, now meters, now kilometers maybe. How many kilometers you dug your borewell? That is what you need to speak these days. So unfortunately, the major issues, as I would think, is availability of water. If it is available, what is the variability of it? What are the erratic groundwater withdrawals that we are having, and the scarcity of drinking water, poor infrastructure for water access, floods and droughts, water logging, soil erosion, and contamination of rivers and water, impact of climate change, environment and quality, water sharing disputes. These are things that we have when we try to find a solution for a given water problem. Talk of surface water, you have certain things of these which can be applied to it. Talk of groundwater, you can certainly apply some of these things. So this is in generic, these are the major issues that our country is facing. So, but as I said, let's now try to focus upon the solutions rather than discussing more on the problems. Every problem has a solution. I believe in it. And the result, these diagrams are not photoshopped. This is something which we have worked in Rajasthan. The top diagram is something which before I went there, and the one after I came back. Matlab, at the end of my work when I was coming back. It's a true area, it's a true result that we have seen. And from Government of India perspective, I just want all of you to bring up to speed The surface water, we are trying to interlink the rivers. I'm chairman of the task force on interlinking of rivers. We recently signed an agreement between UP and Madhya Pradesh, between Ken and Betwa rivers, that is going to cater to about 23 lakh hectares of irrigation to Bundelkhand region, which is a very drought prone and very backward regions in the country. So similarly, we are trying to do more. Coming to the south, connecting Godavari, Krishna, Penna, Kaveri is our goal, and try to handle the issues of floods and droughts by doing that. In groundwater conservation recharge, we have so many programs. Again, the chairman is sitting here. The Jal Shakti Abhiyan we do, the Atal Bhujal Yojana we do, the national aquifer mapping we do. We try to do some of them in the mission mode by including people themselves. Some we apply technologies and try to bring up to speed. And drinking water, pipe drinking water to every household in the country, that is Jal Jeevan Mission. And irrigation, where Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana and drip. And the micro irrigation, the pressure irrigation, what we call. So these are all the things from the government of India. This is not this is only a indicative list. Exhaustive, we can speak a lot. But as I said, interlinking of rivers, these are, about 14 that are there in the Himalayan component and about 16 in the peninsular component. As I said, one of them is Ken Betwa, I think number 10 or 11. I don't see from here, but I think 10, right? 10. Ken Betwa, that has been launched last year. And our goal is to get more and more of these things up and running. And this is Ken Betwa specific thing. And see, one of the important things which I have looked in US versus India, or developed countries in Europe or anywhere in the world versus India, is the inland river navigation and transportation. So one of the best things which we can do is to save the transportation cost by saving the fuel, the diesel, the oil, which would damage the environment. This is an environment friendly transportation, which would bring down the cost of transportation to 1/10 of what we pay now. So it is good win-win for everyone. So there is a lock and dam where, the lock would allow the ship to flow. I mean, I don't want to explain the operation of it now because paucity of time, but there is a lock that operates where the ship can cross the dam. So this is something, in United States of America. If you look at the Atlantic Ocean on the right side top, there is a St. Lawrence Passage through which all the Lake Michigan, Lake Erie, and all these things are touched upon. You look at the network of rivers there, Mississippi, Missouri, Tennessee, and all these rivers are interconnected, and a ship travels all the way from China all the way to the mid of US. So this is something which they have developed over the time, and which we are trying to catch up in India. So we have proposed about 110 of these inland water transportation, possibilities, and the bill has been passed in Lok Sabha. It has to be passed in Rajya Sabha due to various reasons. It is still stuck. And this is the Godavari basin where we have proposed, where all the river basins in Godavari and all the states that are under Godavari, we can have the ships coming, not small ships or boats, but 5,000 tons and more can come. So this is something very ambitious which we need to try for. And this is one of the very important thing which most of you know. The gentlemen sitting on the dais are actually pioneering, these two are pioneering this project, and aquifer mapping using Helibon survey. This is where we are trying to bring up to speed the national aquifer mapping program to take the advantages and technologies of your geophysical investigations and try to marry both the geophysical investigations into the actual groundwater modeling and try to bring up refined and more better data to plan accurately the mapping of the aquifer zones and also controlling extraction and also how to recharge. So this is the details of it are mentioned, and this is one of the pilot project we have taken up in the arid zones of the country, and we are today also we are reviewing today evening also, and we are in a good position to advance on this. And there is pollution is one of the basic, and the environment day, so basically we need to talk about pollution. And this is the rivers are completely taken for granted, and so so bad when when I remember my traveling days in US, I used to drive across Missouri River on a bridge. I used to drive my own car and, people, we drive our own cars there. So basically we drive and, just see here and there, right side, left side, huge water. And, it immediately reminds me of, the Godavari and the Krishna here in our state, or the Musi, whoever is from Hyderabad area, and Ganga, Yamuna, whatnot. So I feel so bad really. When can we see our rivers back into flowing? And what are we thinking of our rivers now? Basically, if you look at the excreta that we are discharging in our, from our homes, from our industries, from our professional organizations, etc., where does all this go? Do you think it is being processed by, I mean, such a kind of overpopulation and such a kind of magnitude of people? How can governments take care of all these kinds of things? There is no solid and liquid waste management techniques for Hyderabad. You just talk about Hyderabad. Is the population about 1.5 crores now, or is it more? Maybe less, a little bit. Maybe 1 crore, 1.5 crore in between, or 1 crore, maybe 80 lakhs. But with the peripheries joining and all, so close to 1 crore. So where can you process? So where is all this going? The immediate and easy way out for this filth to go is Musi. Because Musi goes through the city. City came because Musi is there. Now, it is reverse care now. So we just, where are we going? So anyway, pollution. So this is something where, sometimes we get dragged to discuss the problems, but again, I want to focus on solutions. So basically, what we are trying to do at Government of India level, we want to inventorize the assessment surveillance of the pollution. And as Sunilji rightly mentioned, automation. We don't want to have any kind of manual intervention in procuring the data. We want to automate. We want to gadgetize. We want to sensorize. We want to IoTize things. The sensors, the gadgets, everything, pick the information, IoT of things, it would come here. Everything is automated, no manual fudging of data. This is what our aim is. So for STPs, CETPs, drains, GPIs, and real-time water quality monitoring system, we are developing it. Biomonitoring of rivers and its tributaries, world-class systems. We are trying to focus upon the technologies within the country, outside the country, and and this is something where well, this is of older, even though it says 2019, 2020 tak jo hai iska data hai, but later on it improved much more, where the monitoring stations on Ganga only are mentioned here, where the kind of automation we are doing and how we are tracking and trapping and industries. There are 600 to 700 grossly polluting industries we ordered to shut down, and we said no ETP, no measurement, your thing is shut down. So then negotiation happened, and we are trying to bring various kinds of problems into, there are water quality network of CWC across the country. We are trying to double, triple the size as we speak and automate them. And as Sunilji already mentioned, there is a VARIS, India Water Resource Information System, which we have. There is a Water Information Management System, WIMS, which would feed the data to this. Various modules here we already have, but we are not satisfied with it. We are working on the decision support system, integrated water and crop information management system, the right side third one, which we are working right now, where we are trying to converge. We have 36 departments and wings in the Ministry of Jal Shakti. We have about 17 ministries that touch upon water management aspects in Government of India. We have 29 states and 7 union territories. So we are trying to bring everything of what I spoke on water management to this decision support system. I literally mean everything. We are facing a lot of problem because of the silos attitude of the people of the working in the ministries or departments or states. They want to hide the data. They want to not share the data. They want to, lots of problems. But we are trying to break the shackles, and we are really trying our hard to get this decision support system up and running, where most of the automated data would sit. And water conservation, groundwater recharge. This is, one of the focus areas where the supply side activities and the departments and demand side activities and the departments. If you look at how much it is widely spread out, across the ministries in the given state or center, you can see. So these kind of, so many activities with so many ministries, converging these things and trying to get these things worked upon is very difficult. And if you look at it, activities are done in isolation, and central state schemes are separated, administrative financial schemes. Someone does the same thing in their own way. It is redundant, it is duplicate, it's repeated. You are inventing the wheel again, but you don't want to share. And block and district level scientific plans are missing. Public participation is missing. Technology usage is completely missing. And one nodal authority, no one wants to agree that, you are the best. They think I am the best and don't touch me. So these are all the things which we are trying to break the shackles. And, as I said, the water management, we have four waters. What are four waters? Basically, of the water. So unless you work in convergence mode with all these types of waters, no way you can really achieve success, right? So I just want to, Tiwariji actually asked me or requested me to actually share my experience in Rajasthan, where what we have done. And this, when Pradhan Mantri ji, in the on the ramparts of Red Fort, Modi ji in 2014 said, I want to build toilets. Everyone laughed at him. Minister kya hai? He is talking about toilets. Anyone can do it. PM, should PM come and do this? But we laughed at it. But now, the construction of 10 crore toilets, that has changed, revolutionized the system in the country. By bringing down the, kind of, the health issues, health hazards women would have, elders would have by open defecation, and, bringing down the, bringing the health standards up, bringing down the damage to the environment, to the system, and trying to purify the environment. So with one shot, he has killed, 10 issues. So something similar. When you think of water conservation, groundwater recharge, you think of, it is simple, when you say, convergence act and try to do these things, it might look very simple. But as I said, if you look at from the perspective of, there are 10 line departments in a given state working on water management. There is water resource department, there is groundwater department, there is PHED of drinking water, taking care of drinking water, there is forest, there is agriculture, there is horticulture, there is panchayat raj, there is rural development, and I don't know, industries and power. So I might be crossing 10 and get on to the 11th. So this is the kind of, so what we have done, we have tried to organize this, problem into a holistic perspective. What we did, we converged all these line departments activities, both technical and financial, into one. There was a nodal authority for which I was appointed chairman, and I have overseen these 10 department secretaries for members of my committee. And we have used enormous amounts of technology. We have used all GIS layers. We have flown drones, and we have captured high resolution imageries and used them, technology wise, to plan on a watershed basis. Natural watershed, where bridge to valley, you all know, we have done that. And we have, society has participated and all. So we tried to marry the technology with the water management techniques, and we did this. As I said, bridge to valley watershed approach, and water budgeting we have done. And, if you look at this watershed, what are first order streams that start from the ridges and the forests? What kinds of activities need to go there? Second order, third order, fourth order. Check dams cannot go on first order. Stagger trenches cannot go on fourth order. And, percolation tanks and MPTs can go only on second and third, not on fourth and fifth. So there are 150 different kinds of structures, both structural and vegetative, where, how, what, all these kinds of things were clearly mapped, and everything was geotagged, everything was organized. And, as I said, scientific planning with all GIS layers maps, and convergence, as I mentioned, of all these departments. And forest especially, these kinds of schemes we had, and never ever, everything was converged, even in forest department also. And whatever, for example, in our state, in this state, Telangana, they said they planted about 350 crores of plants under Haritaharam program. How many have survived? Can anyone expect? Can anyone imagine? Not even 1%. Then why you spent 4,500 crores almost for 2 years, and now it has touched upon 8,000 crores, I think, because Campa funds we gave, the check Prakash Javadekar ji was giving, I was standing next to him when he was giving the checks to our Forest Minister of Telangana and other states also. So, all these crores, thousands of crores of money, they planted, but did they survive? No. So what we need to do is, so problem is there, what's the solution? 5-year maintenance plan for every 100 groups of trees or, which we plant. And then you under Mahatma Gandhi Narega or whatever convergence program, you need to ensure 5 years of their maintenance. And so that is a solution we found, and we found it successful. As I said, LiDAR survey we have used, and you all know what LiDAR is, being experts and engineers, so scientists, and that would cut across the trees, and basically, in the sense, it would actually give the cross sections without any obstructions. And you see the, ortho image versus the digital elevation model, how difference it makes. It gives you all kinds of, a contouring or, slopes, everything in a 50 centimeter resolution. That would make you, plan like a surgeon, that he would actually sensitively do a, what kind of surgery he does by touching the veins and arteries. That kind of operation we have done on the earth, basically in terms of doing the watershed management. That kind of accuracy, what I mean is. So the GIS layers we have got obtained, and basically, rich to valley approach, as I said, various order streams, activities. And these are all the results that are expected. And everything, picture perfect if you drought proof the watershed basically. Good, this is like building a toilet, like, one shot, 10 birds, right? So something like that. You drought proof, if you make the water available, whether under the ground or soil moisture, make rivers less polluted, rejuvenate the rivers. This cycle of, your cycle starts where these will drive the other things in the environment and save your environment, right? So as I said, we married technology. We have brought in web applications, portals, mobile apps, and whatnot, and GIS-based solutions. And this is like a kind of mobile app which we have done, and this is a kind of planning where if already existing structure is there, don't go for one more near that vicinity. And what kind of structure is there? What other kind of structure that can be done there as a cohesive thing where they can work together. When stagger trench is there, it stops the velocity of water. Then that would go into a percolation tank. That would come out, ooze out in the, so, in your check dam, and that would again take you to the main dam. So this kind of connection, what is the recharge you are doing? What is the discharge? What is the distance? What is the calculations? Everything is made. So basically, this is like, if you look at the accuracy before and after, farm ponds, everything was streamlined. And this is something, a micro pond around saplings can capture 30 to 40 liters of water in just 11 mm of rainfall. To say this. So this is scientifically made. If you plant trees, if you have 5-year maintenance plan with this kind of, micro ponds done, this is in Jodhpur, I think, the where, the desertification and, arid zones of the country. And there are certain glimpses where, we have done these kinds of things. And, various, I think this is 2015, same forest, 2016, and this is 2018. So how thick vegetation that has helped in the upper areas where we have recharge. This is the discharge area where the trees are grown and the soil moisture is improved. So these are the drone pictures year by year. So what we thought was, we claim that this is the largest, but it could be more. Good programs might be there. The climate change adaptation project, which we have, in the sense of bringing so many unique things together. Like, as I said, many unique things which I have shown. This is what, so anyway, I just come to my conclusion part of what we are discussing today. So what we can do, basically, there are many things that we can talk or discuss. but every agenda and every time of the day and our program paucity of time, etc., would limit us to discuss only certain points. And so whatever we have discussed now, basically, what does we have to do with environment? What we can do? Well, we can do three P's, like, personal level, professional level, and public level. So at personal level, professional and public, I don't have to explain. Public events, we all participate and make Jan Andolan rather than Jal Andolan becomes Jan Andolan. But professional as an entity here, CSIR, NGRA, in your profession, in your professional capacity as CSIR, NGRA family group, what you can do. But when it comes to, I came in the reverse order, but personal level, what I can do. The focus areas could be anywhere: rainwater, groundwater, river, lake, pond, harit building. You can focus on any of these things, and look at the 10 R's that are you can respect, you can refuse, you can reuse, you can recycle, recharge, recover, restore, and retain. These are the things which at various levels where you can do the things. You bring awareness, and see, this is one important thing: save foods. And what I am trying to talk today, I mean, you mentioned that at this point is only what we can do at personal level, right? At professional level, you all together sit and decide what, with your wisdom, what you can do. At personal level, we can save food. And virtual water. You know what virtual water means, right? One apple production of one apple would take that much amount of water. And so if you eat half apple and throw it away, then you know how much water you are wasting. So it's virtual water. And this is where whatever we export, how much of virtual water you are exporting versus, this is a very important math. If you realize, it is very scary actually. So this is something you can do. And action plan. If you see at the left side column table, you have the RO in your house, right? And basically reuse the water and put aerators in your sinks, and put your kind of there is a water mist and aerators that are coming these days, very low cost. I mean, buy it and put it. And the best way to teach someone is to demonstrate. For example, we do the brushing and we open the tap. Typically we open the tap and keep doing, and for 2-3 minutes the tap water is going. And you teach your kids, don't waste water. But when she or he is going, daughter or son is going there, and you are doing this and doing this, so by देख के ही वो सीखते हैं, not by preaching, not by teaching, but by preaching. Basically you got to demonstrate. So why can't you put an aerator with a mist if you can't even close the tap? Otherwise, what I would do is I would wet my brush, close it, do 1.5 minute, wet again, do 1.5 minute, and then until that time the tap is closed for me. I'm saving maybe tens of liters of water a day only for my brushing. So something like that. There are various ways to reduce water usage. Go for rooftop rainwater harvesting. So these are various things that you can think of. As I said, green taps are there, aerators are there, reuse of RO and AC water is there, and Harit Ghar is there, and rooftop rainwater harvesting is one of the best things which you can do. Just simply whatever on your roof, whatever drop of water is coming, put it into the some kind of tank under the ground or open, whatever, just do it. So various methods here that have been given. So as I said, this is the different types of roof water. So basically, as I said, this is something where every drop of water saved, that is going to save the ecology, environment, and giving life back to us. And society, as individuals, we are responsible for what we are and how we are and where we will be. So basically, when we were having lunch, like 1 hour back, we were discussing, the attitude, basically fundamental to all this damage to environment. It is various types of environments we have seen in one of the initial slides, whether it is society or whether it is personal or whether it is ecological, environmental, technical, biological, chemical, whatnot. For all these things, basic fundamental issue which I would like to look at is our attitude. Basically, our motivation to make ourselves more responsible is somehow we are not performing up to the mark. Somehow we are losing the grip of our character that has been given by our ancient people or the system to us. So, in that way, what is happening is when that is gone, then our attitude, like, ठीक है चलेगा हो जाएगा, then that is making roots into these kinds of problems. Finally, the kind of climate change effects that we are seeing, the kind of the other day, 3 days back, a thunderstorm rain has come in Delhi just 4 days back. There were 20-25%, 30% trees have been, felled, uprooted in Delhi NCR region around the parliament and the buildings where we work. So such a massive thing that, why those things are coming. Is there a, what is affecting what? Is humidity, the rain, the soil moisture, the groundwater, what is getting reduced, which is disturbing the equilibrium somewhere, and why this, combination of earth and ocean and this air and pressure and this warmness and, coldness, what is affecting what? We don't know, but we have seen 2 years back how, I came to your campus 2 years back when the, Corona was up and running. None of you were there in your office, and I met, we had a meeting, Tiwaraji, myself, and, with full double mask and all. So that taught us, right? We lost our dear ones, loved ones, and that is a lesson to us. So, I mean, we were eating that mango at the lunch table, and I was telling about the Musi River example. Basically, you get doodh, milk in your mornings, doodh wala denge ya kharid ke aayenge, some packet. So the cows are eating the grass that are, given by this Musi River water. And that cow is giving the milk and you are drinking the milk. Literally, we are drinking and eating the excreta and the filth. And, this boiler, which, finally everyone is put into the boiler, right? The stomach, which finally produces all kinds of enzymes and, kinds of acids and bases, whatnot. So basically, what is finally the boiler will get lost. Basically, that is why these intestinal diseases and whatnot, cancers and all. So what is leading to what? Where it is leading to, what we are up to. So we have lost control on the system. So fundamental to all this is change our attitude. If we change our attitude, every individual changes the attitude. I'm pretty sure this is nothing for us. Human race has always succeeded with the kind of spirituality that has been given by our ancestors. And my father used to tell me one thing, which I practice even now. If money is lost, nothing is lost. If health is lost, something is lost. If character is lost, everything is lost. So basically, I don't know. These days, how many people, money is everything these days. So it ulta ho gaya. Character, no one bothers. Health also, we paise hain, fix karenge. So attitude again. Basically, if we go back to our basics, go back to our societal values, go back to our, ancestral values and the culture and the spirituality that has been given to us, changing our attitudes and getting back to normalcy is not a big issue at all. That's what I would feel. I think I have taken more time than what was given to me. Thanks a lot for giving me the time to discuss with you, share my ideas with you. Thank you so much. Anyone is expert
Friend can send email, but anyone sitting in the auditorium has any query? Yeah, Dr. Rao.
From the water point of view, it's an excellent action, but there are a lot of concerns as to how it might affect the biodiversity. Are there enough studies to boldly go ahead with this program?
A wonderful question. In fact, I would have touched upon this with the World Environment Day. We are discussing about interlinking of rivers, which by many the perception on interlinking of rivers is, the damage it could do to the ecology and environment. So I spoke an example which is detrimental to the context of today's meeting. But yes, the answer is yes. We have enough studies where what we are trying to do is these days constructing a major dam or a reservoir, connecting that to another river, and with the kind of land acquisition that we there are about 18 to 20 laws, I would say, where the kinds of permissions, and those are so hard to obtain these days because, for example, the forest permission. Earlier, harvesting by the state that has some power in the center and try to get some clearances. Nowadays, it is not like that. Everything is minutely looked into, forest to forest, sometimes 2 times, 3 times of forest what is submerged needs to be aquifers that we, and we need to, like in Betwa, we have got about 6,000, 7,000 crores this year's budget, all of which we pay to Ministry of Environment for. The first 7,000 crores. Typically, what would happen in a project that would go for immediately for building a dam or a reservoir, and tender it and give it to a contractor, he'll start building. But the guidelines which we have put in, the toughest guidelines which we have put on ourselves, we got to deposit this kind of money with the forest and environment ministry, where they would ensure. Unfortunately, Ken Betwa, there is a tiger reserve that is getting displaced, but that is a very unique situation, the Penna Tiger Reserve. But in other situations also, wherever forest to forest, sometimes 2 to 3 times we have to create, and then only we would go. And then the flora, the fauna, and the ecology of the river. And what we are trying to do is to define what we call environmental flows, minimum E flows that are needed in every river, every stream. So when we divert water, we need to ensure that, suppose Godawari's water is taken to Krishna, then Godavari water cannot suffer, because if some water is transferred there and this becomes in lean season, you lack water here, then the flora, fauna, and all the fisheries would die here. So we cannot see that happening. So we need to ensure that this is taken care of. Then only, even though we plan on 75% dependability, where 3 out of 4 years the project should be successful, but we have flood waters in some situations. Like for example, a lot of rivers are coming from Bhutan and Nepal, where flooding happens in Assam, Brahmaputra Basin, and Ganga Basin. To tap those waters, where arrest floods there, at the same time divert that water to drought areas, by ensuring all these environmental, ecological, and forest laws are taken care of. Yes, the record of state governments or central government, for that matter, anywhere in the world, not in our country, are not good. Because the motto of giving water was more than taking care of these things. But we should not look at the bad past. We have to look at the current people who are actually sitting and trying to do these policies are well aware. They are really meticulously planning. As I said, the best example is 7,000 crores we have deposited with MOEF. Another 3,000 crores with this year also goes there. Then we would get stage 2 forest clearance. Then only we would go with the actual construction. That itself speaks, So, for example, another project I would give example is Polavaram in Andhra. What is happening? There is a lot of submergence that is happening. Tribals, ecology, and all these things are getting displaced. But so the 2014, this new legislation that we have done, land, the submergence and the resettlement rehabilitation package, we need to not only land to land, but wherever we provide, we need to provide the capacity building and their successful life also. So for that, 1:4 times is whatever he loses, 4 times he gains. That kind of approach we are going with, and there is direct benefit transfers we are doing. Lots of so it's no more a old style of thing. We are trying to get better, but much better we need to go and try to ensure that environmentalists and ecology is survived. And the environment lovers also should believe in this, which definitely we hope that they would believe. As I said, track record is not good, but that part I can definitely. Because I am chairman of the task force on interlinking of rivers, I can speak with authority that these things are happening.
Thank you very much. Real life experiences in your official and personal capacity as well. So thanks a lot. Now it is our pleasant duty to honor the chief guest and the guest of honor. And I request our director, Dr. V.M. Tiwari, the honor. First, I request him to honor Sri Sriram Vajreji with a shawl and memento. Thank you very much, sir. And now I request you to honor our guest of honor, Sri Sunil Kumar ji. Thank you very much. And towards the end of this program, request Dr. N. Kunjan Rao ji, Chief Scientist and GRI, to offer a vote of thanks.
It's my very pleasant duty to propose a formal vote of thanks. At the outset, I would like to express our very sincere, our heartfelt happiness and gratitude to our chief guest, Sri Sriram Vedreji, advisor to Ministry of Jal Shakti, Government of India, and to Sri Sunil Kumarji, Chairman, Central Groundwater Board of Government of India, for having accepted to be the chief guest and the guest of honor respectively on this very important day, the World Environment Day. And we are also extremely impressed and enlightened, sir, by your talk on strategic approach to the natural water management. And I'm very glad to note that you started off in a very positive way by talking about the solutions rather than the problems. I think that's a very positive way to look at the future, look at things. You have also covered the major issues pertaining to water, the surface water, groundwater, drinking water, and the irrigation schemes and so on. And we have been introduced to various new things, I would say, to many of us here, like the lock and dam scheme or the building of the decision support system, data sharing and transparency. So we see a very bright future, sir. And with the excellent record that you have demonstrated in the state of Rajasthan in terms of the afforestation efforts, we are very convinced that this system will take the country forward in a more positive way, and hopefully the globe in general, as far as the environment is concerned. So with these few words, we'd like to thank you for being here with us on this important day, and also for delivering such an excellent lecture. And I'm also very grateful to Sri Sunil Kumarji for sharing his very valuable comments in spite of having issues with his throat. Sir, thank you very much for your very valuable advices. I thank Dr. V.M. Tiwari, Director CSIR-NGRI, for
taking this program so seriously, and he was very supportive right from the beginning. And the importance that he has given to this World Environment Day, I'm sure Dr. Devinder will agree with me that this support, this kind of support, has actually helped in having such eminent people for the program today, and also having a very successful program and a talk by a very eminent person. I'm also thankful to the information division headed by Dr. Devinder Kumar, who have taken a lot of pains to organize this both online and offline. And to all those who have supported in organizing this function, the electrical section, the HLS, the air condition, and of course the IT section, who have done a very successful streaming of this program in a hybrid mode. So all in all, this program has been very successful, and a lot of take homes, sir, we have learned today from the lecture and discussions. Thank you very much. And I would like to thank all those who have come online, all our very senior colleagues from the Research Council, and also all the scientists and staff of CSIR, NGRA, and elsewhere. Thank you all for being part of this very important function. Thank you very much.
All of you are cordially invited to have a cup of tea, which is arranged in the lounge at DSP Hall. Thank you very much.